everyone. Welcome to the launch of Mina V. Esguerra's 3 books under Spark Books Anvil's new imprint. I'm Liana and this is
Hi, I'm
Anne.
Anne. Good afternoon, Night.
We're two of the bloggers under book blogger will read for Fios.com, and we'll be your hosts today. And to start off, we just want to tell you about the new Spark Books imprint under Anvil.
Okay. But first of all, we would like to thank Powerbooks for this very spiffy venue. We're all surrounded with books, so thank you very much, Powerbooks. And we'd also, again, as Liana mentioned, we'd like to introduce Spark Books, which is an imprint of Anvil Publishing. And it's a new line of exciting and well-written new adult literature by Filipino authors. So let's get right down to the program. So let me introduce to you our featured author, if you would say. Mina V. Esguerra writes contemporary romance, young adult, and new adult novellas. Through her blog, I'm sure you all are all familiar with this. You visited it at some point, publishing in pajamas. That's minavesguerra.com. She documents her experiments in publishing. So when Mina's not writing romance, she is president of communications for Bronze Age Media, a development communication consultant, indie publisher, professional editor, wife, and mother. So she wears a lot of hats. And she also created the workshop series Author at Once for writers and publishers and the hashtag romance class for aspiring romance writers. Her young adult fantasy trilogy, Interim Goddess of Love, is a college love story featuring gods from Philippine mythology. And her contemporary romance novellas has recently won the Filipino Reader's Choice Awards for Chicklet back in 2012 for Fairy Tale Fail and 2013 for That Kind of Guy. So, but for today, we're gonna be featuring her 3 new adult novellas under Spark Books. So, we'd like to give you a brief background for those of you who haven't read it yet, or for those of you who are really staunch fans of Mina who already read all 3 of these. So, let's just give you a brief intro of what to expect in these 3 NA books from Mina.
All right, just so that it's easy for you guys to track, we're going to talk about the books in the order that you see them on the banner. The first book is Never Just Friends. This is a romance between a Hollywood TV actor, not really Hollywood, but Vancouver-based TV actor, super hot, and a woman who has been his longtime best friend ish, and she works in an aid organization, a development organization, and they come together as part of an environmental convention where the hot actor named Jacob is the spokesperson for the main character's agency. Then we have The Harder We Fall, which incidentally is a college romance. And if you guys have read both books, you'll notice that the characters in Never Just Friends are graduates of the college in The Harder We Fall. So that's what ties the 2 together. In The Harder We Fall, this time we have somebody who's a budding documentary creator, I guess we call her, Daria. And she's assigned to cover the local college rugby team where she meets, again, super hot Nicholas. And he guides her through the ins and outs of college rugby.
And lastly, Welcome to NV Park is set here in the Philippines. So unlike the first 2 books, they're all set in the US. So for Welcome to NV Park, it tells the story of Moira. She just came home from Singapore, so she's a balikbayan. And she settles into her new condo, and where she meets another hot guy, but Filipino, but still hot, Ethan. And there are neighbors in the same condo. So we can see a theme here. It's all about hot guys. And yes, and we're all here for that, right? So now that we've all introduced, or we all know what to expect about the books from Mina, let's call her out. Let's bring out
the author of all these hot guys.
Let's please welcome Miss Mina Esguerra. Hello.
All right, so I think you have a few words for our audience today.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm really happy to see familiar faces here and phones. Familiar. Hello. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting this launch and the books. I've been experimenting with the way I do romance for a while now, and I'm so happy that you're in for the ride. Thank you so much for coming today, and let's start.
All right, we have a quick Q&A. We'll just share a mic. No problem. So we wanted to start by talking about the books. We know you have over a dozen books now.
Yes, by now.
Yeah, and but we first many of us who have been your fan for a while first got to know when you were writing older, like fiction with older main characters, and we were wondering what these three books are categorized as NA or new adult, which is an emerging category, each category. And we were wondering why the switch from older characters to younger ones.
It's more of I just wanted to try it out. I also like to read, so I was watching out for trends in the books that I like to read, and new adult. If you're not familiar, new adult books have characters that are aged 18 to 25, so it's a very specific group. Romance books that you would read would probably have older characters, late 20s, 30s. But this one specializes on a very short window, and the characters are usually sort of smart, sort of stupid, which just happens when you're that age. So that was the thing that was coming out, and I thought it was perfect for an author like me living here, and the way we experience life at that age. It's very much the way that maybe authors doing YA in other countries, maybe they were actually tackling those issues, but in the Philippines we would probably experience them a little older. So I thought NA was perfect.
So and I also would like to ask Mina, I think in a blog post, or was it in an interview, that you mentioned that previously you did not envision writing steamy scenes, and for Spark Books there are several scenes with a bit of you kick up the notch in the steam and a killing factor as well. What changed your perspective to incorporate steamy scenes or a steamy angle when you write your romances, especially for Spark Books?
The steam the steam came in. It was a bunch of things, like me getting older and just realizing that when you get older and then your reading tastes change, it kind of got a little weird choosing to stay younger when the things that you're dealing with as a person getting older are much different now. So there was that, and then there was the matter of a fellow author named Marian T, pretty much daring me to do this. Like, you can do it. Why aren't you doing it? Like, you're holding yourself back. Because and then I said, I'll try it, because it wasn't as if I didn't like to read those books. I actually did. I actually like reading those books. So there should have been no problem as an author. It was really a lack of skill on my part, and also a bit of fear because of something I'd never tried before. And then I guess later on in one of the workshops that we had, someone actually told me, your readers are actually getting older. So if you want to keep your readers, you have to grow with them. So it was a combination of all of those things, and then I actually started writing steamier stuff. Yeah.
All right. All three of your books were self-published before, and we wanted to know. Well, congratulations on the partnership with Anvil and Spark
Thanks.
Books. But what inspired the move to a more traditional publisher?
Yeah, they are still self-published actually. So the way that I do this, if you're into that at all, is I still publish my own book. So every time I write a new book, I publish it myself on Amazon and everywhere, and then I find partners who can help me get it to more readers. So that's where Anvil came in. Thank you, Anvil. That's where Anvil came in, and they actually wanted to help me distribute, because that's the problem when you publish on Amazon and it's an ebook. Then there's an entire group of Philippine readers that you'll never get to reach because they don't buy from Amazon or they don't read ebooks, and their main source of books will still be National Bookstore Powerbooks. So that's where the partnership really helped. Anvil decided, let's help you get those readers so you don't lose them, because you already had them before. and then yeah, so that's how this started.
And that one of the things that I mentioned when I introduced you is that you wear a lot of hats. So aside from being a writer, an author, you're also a teacher. So and I think and I believe right now currently you are facilitating a romance new adult romance writing workshop, and Spark Books or Anvil is actually sponsoring that. So could you tell us something more about this new adult writing class that you're currently facilitating?
Yes, and I see some of the people in that class here. Hi.
Hello.
So Spark Books, when they started off, it's not just to publish my books. They intended to really publish more books like this. So new adult romance books for that age group. So they agreed to sponsor a writing class. So I'm helping 83 writers now write books that are NA, that are new adult, for Spark. So Spark as sponsor gets first dibs on any book that they like from that batch. It's a 2-month class. They're in the middle of it right now. It ends on June 6th. So hopefully some of them are here. I hope you all do well. But yun, with any luck, we'll have a lot more fun stuff to read by this year. Yeah.
How has this enriched your writing experience, since you not just write, you teach, you're also an advocate, a literary advocate. How has this influenced or enriched your writing experience?
I guess more awareness of everything. Kasi when I was just writing, I didn't even know anything about the publishing side or the marketing side because someone else was doing that for me. And then when I started publishing my own books, then I started to learn one side of it that I think helps now with the books that I write. And then I started teaching, helping other people write, and then just learning how to teach novella writing made me more aware of what I needed to do. So I kind of go back when I write something new. I go back and try to apply what I picked up and transmit it to other people. Yeah, that helped.
Okay, so just question to the audience. Show of hands, how many of you guys have read any of the books or all of the
three
books?
of it. How many? All three of the books.
All right. So I'm sure
Okay.
I'm sure my next question is what's on everybody's mind, and it's what's next? What are you coming out with next as an author, as a teacher, or any other projects that
Hi.
you have?
As an author, so these are actually the earlier books in of my new adult series, I would say. So there are two here, specifically the US setting new adult. I'm writing book 5 right now. So the 3rd and 4th are up somewhere in various stages of publication, and then I'm finishing the 5th, and then I'm planning to write another Philippine setting book, and then I have so I'm outlining that, and then I'm kind of deciding whether I want to write another project that is a bit difficult for me, but it's really exciting. And then as a teacher, I sort of through, because when I do the online classes, it's always contemporary romance. It's always stuff like this. And then I keep getting questions from people who join na pwedeng paranormal naman, pwedeng fantasy, pwedeng ibang genre. And ako like, why me? Why are you trying to get me to teach something that I don't write? But but I thought, let's do this. I'm not gonna hold you back anymore. So I'm starting to set up two additional classes this year for genres I don't write. But what will happen is I'll get people who actually write and can be helpful to be the resource people. So we'll do paranormal romance, urban fantasy, and suspense crime. Yeah. So, and those are books that I like to read but don't necessarily write. So I'm still invested in it as a reader. And then hopefully more authors will come in and just fill it up, and we'll have a lot of books by Pinoy authors for those genres also.
Okay, and then since you mentioned that we have a lot of writers already here in our audience, we were wondering if you have any best pieces of advice for anybody who is still in the process of writing or publishing their book.
Well, if you're in my class, the thing I always say is just finish writing and then put it out there as soon as possible. Sorry. Finish writing and put it out there. A lot of people have this thing about perfection, that they want to make sure that it's perfect, so they don't get embarrassed or they don't get whatever, they don't get criticism, and you always will. You always will, no matter how perfect, diba? Even if you finish a draft and then run it through 10 people and 10 people say it's perfect, once you publish it, more people will say it sucks. So you can never really prepare yourself for that. The best way really is to release something that you're proud of, get the feedback, and then apply it to the next book. So sadly, that's the only way. You can really just live and learn, parang ganon.
Okay, at this point, we'd like to open up this little discussion to, if any of you guys have any questions for Mina, just feel free to come up to the front. We'll hand a mic over to you. Questions, anyone? Well, in the meantime, we do have a couple of other medyo mababaw questions. Any dream casts for your characters?
I usually say I don't have an answer to the question, but now I do. Nick Bateman.
For whom?
Sorry.
For who?
For everyone. I don't care.
And okay, and then we mentioned that Addison Hill is now becoming a prominent fictional school. Did you base it on any real life school that you know?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I don't wanna say. I don't wanna say which one, but it's in the Bay Area in California, in that I recently visited. So a lot of it is I gave it a different name because I didn't want to get into trouble with the actual school, because I say certain things about how little they support rugby or how ayun. So I made certain claims about that school, so I changed the name, but it is based on a real school. Yes.
Any questions, guys? Yes. Come up.
Hi. When can we expect Playing Autumn to be part of the Spark Books roster?
I don't know. I think it's a matter of. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. I will submit the files to them this week. Yeah. But I don't know when, because I guess the cool answer there is they have several other titles lined up from other authors, not me. So I kind of don't want to flood their queue with my stuff. So that's another thing to look forward to. Thank you.
Any other genres you'd like to see Spark Books put out that you don't necessarily want to write but want to read?
sana yung paranormal romance and urban fantasy, which is something that readers always ask for. And then I don't read it as much as I do contemporary, but the fact that readers keep asking for it means that they want more of it. So I think there's a lot we can do for that age group if it's paranormal urban fantasy. So I want that. I also want, but maybe not Spark. Maybe they need to create a new branding for this. But mystery, I want mystery and crime, actually. So because I like reading mysteries, procedurals, new detective fiction, and there's so much inspiration here that doesn't have to be supernatural. It can be actual, just crime procedural. So yeah, I want more of that.
Segue Lara. So, how many of you guys have read Never Just Friends? Anyone in the audience? Quite a few people. So, and my co-host here. I'm pretty sure that we are all curious about Rage Eternal, and we have noticed that you know you're very enthusiastic in describing Jake's job as part of that series. Can you tell something more about this fictional TV series?
Okay, so if you haven't read that book, there's a fictional TV show in that book that's a supernatural show, but it's something that it doesn't exist. That show doesn't exist. It's just the job of the character in the book. But my husband and I really enjoyed thinking of that plot for that series, and we actually plotted 5 seasons of that show. so it's really, and then he writes, my husband Michael Arco writes fantasy sci-fi, so he wanted to write it. He wanted to write stories based on that idea that we came up with, and he said if I don't come up with stories, he'll snatch the idea from me. And then I tried writing stories, but it's really, I'm not comfortable yet in that kind of fantasy, so it's not my thing. But yeah, I mean, if my husband had more time, he'd be writing the entire thing right now.
Any more questions from the audience? You want to ask Mina about her writing, about her books, her upcoming books? Anybody? Don't be shy. So if there are no more questions, we are gonna invite you to do something.
Well, actually, we're just going to invite you to buy the books if you haven't done so already. Plus, since you're here, take advantage of the discount. The books are normally $185 each, and today they're at a special rate at
166 and 50 centavos for today. So please do grab a copy of all these 3 books. So yeah, at Anvil's discounted price.
And if you guys want to learn more about Spark or Mina, they're both present online.
Yes.
Mina, would you like to invite everyone to follow you?
Yes. I'm on Twitter at Mina V Esguerra, Facebook Mina V Esguerra, Instagram Mina V Esguerra. So I post about books, stuff I watch, stuff I like to read, and I do all that. But I also help people who are trying to get into writing and publishing. So that's another thing that I do. I'm also on Wattpad, Mina VE.
Yes,
Check it out.
and since we're all on social media, please do follow Spark Books on Facebook. They're also on Instagram. So if you've been seeing quite a couple of posts from Anvil or from Spark Books, they're all on Facebook. So all of these books, the excerpts, the quotable quotes, they're all online on Anvil and Spark's Facebook pages.
All right, and to close us off, I'll just say that I'm Liana.
I'm Anne.
Our roving co-blogger is Marian, and we're the 3 bloggers behind willreadforfeels.com, a book blog. And we're now opening up the program to book signing, and if you want, a selfie with the lovely Mina Esguerra, you can do that as you're having your book signed. We'll be setting up a table in front, so just feel free to line up straight down the middle.
There's an official photographer also to take your photos with Mina. So, shala. Thank you guys for being such a great audience, for coming this afternoon despite the very unbearable heat outside. Thank you for being
Thank
part
you
of
so
this
much.
program.
Thank you.
And thank you also to Anvil and Spark Books.